good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Hello and welcome today. You're joined by just me. So yeah, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. Today it's just me. Just speaking about a few things here and there that I wanted to chat about, you know. And you can see me painting the last part of this genie painting I've got going on. You know, I sometimes I would say it doesn't feel like it's been that long since I started this piece. But also it's the same thing as well. I do feel like it has been a long time just finishing this piece as well. With all the amount of time and like effort I've put into it, you know, it does get to that point where it feels like, yeah, I definitely have put a lot of effort into it over the 3 weeks really, because at the moment that's kind of the rough kind of routine of a piece, is about 3 weeks to work on a piece, to get it like started, then, you know, get most of the gist of it done, and then get the final piece done, as you can see me doing here. So you can see me just going in and kind of fixing it up, fixing everything that I missed out throughout the course of the other videos as well. So yeah, one thing I wanted to talk to you about was growing your confidence as an artist. So yeah, that's pretty much what I called this video, because it's kind of, you know, the subject matter of what I'm talking about today. And you know, I've got so much confidence in my painting compared to like where I started, because you know, I started just kind of out of boredom. You know, I was not really liking school, not really liking anything else, and you know, I just draw and drawing was the thing I just really enjoyed. I'd love to try and like create dragons and draw fantasy creatures and try and like create my own worlds in my head. I was both creating like them in my head and putting them down on paper as well, you know. So you know, I was creating worlds in my head. I really enjoyed that whole like feeling of achieving drawing something as well. Yeah, and I just really, you know, followed that passion. And you know, I was starting out, I was kind of just doing the how to draw books, like how to draw, I think it was Del Toro Quest was like the first ever book I kind of picked up on how to draw, and that was pretty much like I was reading a book at the time called Del Toro Quest, and it was a very fantasy, kind of easy read. I think I did 2 or 3 books. I read three books. I didn't really read a lot, but I read a little bit every now and again. I mean, yeah, I don't mind reading, but I don't do it a lot. So, but anyway, yeah, I did. They had heaps of like creatures and monsters, the kind of thing that I was really into at that kind of time. And yeah, it had on all the creatures and dragons and things that were in the stories. It had all them to learn how to draw, so I kind of took that and just, you know, it had how to draw it. Obviously they use shapes and forms to create their step by step. If you've seen step by step how to draw, you know, it goes circle and then you join the 2 circles together, and then that creates the torso, and then, you know, it shows you the whole way to do it. But yeah, and you know, drawing that first kind of dragon drawing that I did, we're doing our placemats. We had placemats for our desk. At the time we had to create our own placemat to put on top of our desk, using whatever resources you want, like magazines, and also drawings, pencils, photos, and things like that. I think we had to put a photo of ourselves on it. Well, no, we didn't. We just had to kind of write our name and put something on it, whether it's just photos or whatever. Obviously, I decided to do a big drawing on it, because that's who I was. I mean, even at school, I kind of drew, like, there was all, like, everyone around me, or there was a few around me, not everyone, those kids that always drew, like, Dragon Ball Z characters. They always were drawing them, you know. I wasn't exactly that kid, I wasn't always drawing all the time, but I did like drawing. Like, I drew Spyro the Dragon, I really love Spyro. I didn't draw all the time, but I did, you know, enjoy that time I did get to draw, because at that time I was kind of doing other stuff like Bionicles, playing around with creating things with that. But yeah, anyway, at intermediate, I don't know what level that would be wherever you are, you know. It's kind of the in-between starting high school stage. But yeah, that's when I kind of picked up, you know, a bit more on how to draw and what was fascinated in, you know, the art field, and kind of wanted to do a bit more of that. It wasn't so apparent, like, I was of a little bit, like, I'd say a little bit blind, you know. I didn't understand at that time. You know, at that time there was, like, you know, the typical, there were artists that made these cartoons and movies and all that stuff. I kind of knew there were kind of artists doing this kind of stuff, but I wasn't, didn't know much about how big it was until, like, about 2 years later from that stage of picking up that art book. But yeah, doing that first drawing, well, kind of first for me, kind of the first good drawing per se, that was a full color kind of piece that, I mean, it was really great at the time. It was, you know, the best drawing I did for, to date at that stage, you know. That was me back when I was like 14 or something, I think, or 12, somewhere around there. Intermediate 12, I think. Yeah, it'll be about 12ish, doing that. So that, you know, actually completing that how to draw thing, and colouring it in and everything. After doing that, you know, gave me that confidence in that, you know, I can set my mind to actually drawing, and, you know, that's what kept me going with it, you know. And then, you know, fast forward like 2 years, I was saying, 2 years, you know, I'm starting to learn a bit more about, you know, a bit more about drawing, about the field, other things. I was watching things like Robot Chicken, Family Guy. I was watching, you know, those kind of shows, American Dad, those kind of funny cartoons, adult cartoons that I quite liked. And, you know, I grew fascinated in that kind of field, and like creating kind of funny shorts and things like that. And that is what drove me at the start. I really wanted to create these things. I didn't like school at that time. You know, the only thing I wanted to do was draw and create. And yeah, that's what I did most of the time, you know, even in maths class and in English class, science class. Mostly I was drawing as much as I could. I had drawing classes, which was good, and I had art classes, and I also had, yeah, just art and, yeah, technical drawing. We also had like digital media, which was we did do a little bit of like design stuff then, um, but it was mainly kind of using Word and kind of, you know, the Microsoft programs and things like that. So it wasn't that great, but some of the stuff like designing kind of a web page kind of a thing, um, that was a little bit interesting, and I felt, yeah, that was cool to do. And yeah, after that I did my course, and yeah, that opened my eyes further into drawing, and you know, I thought at that stage, um, I was like the best like drawer at that level or something, you know. I had that kind of confidence, you know. I'm so great at that stage, but then going into course, it's like, well, there's so many other people that, um, you know, are way better than me, at this, which was is really, you know, eye opening, and it meant that, wow, I really could, you know, get to higher levels, which is cool. Um, yeah, and I learned more, and yeah, I got more confident. Kept drawing, kept creating. Um, for years, you know, I did the course, and then on the side I'd have my side projects, because with the course it was going like really pretty good for the first year, that, you know, I was just pumping out all the content, keeping up with it. When I went home, I didn't really have um, a lot of coursework to do. You know, I might have a little bit of coursework, but I could get away with doing my own thing, and then um, doing my course on the side. But as you know, the year deepened, and got further into the course, I started to have less time to do my own thing, and more time I had to work on the course stuff. Um, but it wasn't too bad, because I got to do the things that I really enjoyed, like the drawing and the creating, and designing and things like that. A lot of interesting stuff. As much as I could, um, I brought in drawing as much as I could, to each of the projects. I mean, you got to draw to create the logo, the look of the logo, um, and, you know, everything else you have to draw as well. So there was a lot of like, it's good to have those drawing skills with illustration, and creating logos and stuff. Um, but yeah, you know, over the years I got confident, and, you know, having confidence, with my drawing is always a challenge. You know, it's not something that you get to a stage and you're like, oh, I'm confident in art, and that's it. It'll go away. You know, you'll be confident forever. There are always challenges, and always twists and turns that come into your art journey, come into your life, that make you less confident in drawing something. Say there might be a request drawing, or something you're not used to drawing, um, where, yeah, you will like shy away, or not be so confident in drawing it, um, or you might have all the confidence in the world, and it doesn't turn out that great, you know. And then you lose confidence. It's like, oh, can I do this, you know? So yeah, it's always a challenging thing, um, in keeping that and retaining it as well. You know, every every year I did it, or every day that goes past, you know, it's always a challenge, you know, and um, I'm definitely confident that I can keep moving forward and keep improving, keep going. Um, you know, believe I can get things done. It's always a challenge, even to keep up with this YouTube channel, because I do have so much time. Excuse me. I only have, you know, roughly I'd say up to 20ish hours a week, I guess. Around about 20 hours a week. 2 times 5, 10, plus 10 on the weekend. About 2 hours a day from Monday to Friday. Plus 5 hours Saturday and Sunday, depending on what I'm doing too, because that goes up and down. So yeah, roughly 20 hours. It's some weeks are less, some weeks are more. But yeah, it's roughly about that time, 20 week, like in general, about 20 hours a week, which means I've got to. But with that time, I've also got to do like emailing, posting the video, creating the video, doing my other things. Like I do my Tuesday streams where I do paint, but I'm also talking as well. Do my weekly tips as well, so that's another thing that chews up a little bit of that time. Sometimes it only does take 5 minutes. Other weeks it does take like 45 minutes to an hour to kind of get everything done, the kind of the painting in the background, or whatever I've got going on, a bit of like writing or practice or something to create the weekly tips, and then a little bit of and then it's like the 5 minutes of actually recording it as well, so it could take up to an hour sometimes to do the weekly tips. Sometimes, like I said, it is just 5 minutes of me kind of chatting and drawing or something. In other weeks it is like 40 minutes or 50 minutes to actually create the video. And then you've got the exporting and then putting it to YouTube, writing the descriptions. So there's a lot that goes into those 20 hours. It's not just purely painting. If it was just purely painting or 20 hours, I would be so much further than I am. But that's the way it is. But yeah, and also with doing the Tuesday streams, that is helping a lot to keep doing these streams, keep talking and chatting, keep a lively like video as well, because when I started these videos, I was kind of didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of chatting away. There's a few people here and there popping in saying hey, and I'd be like hey, la la la. It wouldn't be too many people, but there would be people pop up every now and again. And I'd just be painting away, and I'd get distracted talking about something, and I'd just paint and kind of do stuff. So I didn't I had no kind of motive for the video per se as well. With each video now, it definitely has kind of a motive of kind of getting it out there, what I'm kind of discussing with the artists that I've got in, or if it's on my own, kind of what I'm discussing about. It's not me just rambling on about whatever is on my head. I kind of structure it, not like a speech that I've written every word, but I kind of have a rough idea of what I want to talk about, and everything. So it's always good. So I've done these videos for roughly probably nearly 2 years now, I'd say. Probably 6, 8, probably about 8 months full time though, like as in 2 videos a week, 20ish hours, so I'd call that part time. But I have only been doing this with putting 2 videos up for 7 months, but I've actually been doing this whole streaming and YouTube stuff for about 2-ish years. And it's been up and down. Like sometimes I'd like have weeks where I was just kind of streaming painting, whether it was on Twitch or did some YouTube stuff. I was creating videos, but I was only just creating them every now and again when I can, arranging talks with artists. But I wasn't doing them like once a week. I was just doing them when I could get an artist in, and yeah, when I had a video to create as well. And yeah, making that deadline, making it like I have to do this video each week, has really built that confidence and that help, and it helped create these pieces and kept them going. Without that, I think I would be a bit more stuck in the mud at the moment. I wouldn't have done as much as I have at this stage. I would have only maybe created a video if I kept on, pursuing this kind of video creation and in these paintings and things like that. I would have only maybe created one a month or two a month or something. But it was all just a big process of me learning what I kind of wanted to do with it, and then now, deciding where I actually want to go with it, making goals with this. There's still much to learn though. There's still a long distance to go. And it's been an awesome journey so far. So yeah, I did talk a little bit about confidence here and there. Growing my confidence as a kid. Doing those how to draw books and actually completing a final drawing from those drawing books, and being so happy that I did that, and that built my confidence in that. What I did as a younger person, as kind of teenagers, is I'd have my drawing and then I'd stick it on the wall. And it would be sitting there, and every morning I'd be like, oh my gosh, I drew that. And yeah, I'd have collections of all my drawings. I still have a lot of those collections. Back then everything was traditional, obviously. It was just pencil, paper, whatever I could get my hands on, I would draw. And yeah, I was pretty happy that I could draw. I always had that feeling I want to get better. And you always will have that feeling of I want to get better. So I think you should think about whether you are, you lacking confidence, or if you just want to get better as well. Because sometimes, along my journey, it definitely has kind of gone mixed up somewhere at some point. Where it was like, well, I don't feel like so confident in drawing. At some stage, it was like earlier in my kind of artistic journey, really earlier, that it wasn't confidence. Like, I didn't have much confidence in actually drawing people. I was like totally shunned away from actually drawing people. I was like, no, I don't want to draw people. And I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't draw people. I'd just draw what I liked to draw. And but then the other half took over. That I actually, it wasn't that I couldn't draw them. It was that I needed to grow in that. So yeah, I did. Eventually, I went over that and I kept drawing. I drawed humans. I would just, draw. Basically, go to my room and go on the sites like similar to like Line of Action, and I'd get the poses and everything, and I'd just draw like tons of them, paper after paper of those drawings, and now I'm a little more confident in drawing that. There's always going to be like mistakes and things I do, and yeah, I just try and fix them up. Yeah. So yeah, I'm basically not only now am I exactly just an artist now. I'm also part YouTuber, if you want to say that. Well, part entertainer per se. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. I also, you know, have to get better at entertainment for for these videos to get some light on them. You know, get people attracted to them. Because the content of them are very important. You know, so I actually learning like entertainment, how to entertain and keep people watching and listening and things like that, and say what I want to say in a confident way. So I've got two sides of building up my confidence as well to kind of think about when I'm creating a painting. I've got to, I'm not exactly the best presenter at things. As a kid, I had to do speeches. I had to write speeches and then present them in front of the class, and that was the most hated thing for me. I did not like that. I mean, most of us artists, usually, I'm not saying we all are, but most of us are introverted per se. I know there are probably a lot that are very extroverted as well. But there are, the whole generalization of it is most of us are like introverted, like we're sitting behind our drawings, our computers, or whatever, just kind of doodling and sticking to ourselves. That's the main, but there are a lot of the opposite as well, and I think I do kind of have that side to me where I'm the opposite, which kind of drives me to go out and chat with these artists, what I really enjoy chatting with, because I always, with every video, every artist that I do get in, I do get something out of. I get an awesome chat that I've had an interesting chat with someone from the other side of the world, from another side of life. And it always lets me thinking about what I'm doing, what I can learn from them, how they got where they are, and things like that. It's always helpful. Yeah. So yeah, I'm always kind of working on my confidence as an artist. Whether it's picking up those how to draw books, or it's actually doing those Tuesday streams to get me better at kind of chatting and keeping these videos alive and keeping these chats alive, and kind of have a more focused video and things like that. Sometimes, I kind of, with those Tuesday streams, I kind of, I would say semi-practice what I'm going to do if I'm doing one of these videos, per se, sometimes on those Tuesday streams. So yeah, it's really, really helpful for me to do those Tuesday streams to build up my confidence in doing these live stream chat things that I always do. It's the same with me drawing as well. I just gotta constantly keep drawing, and I grow confident, and that's the thing. You just gotta keep doing to grow confident as an artist. You're always gonna have those stumbles, so that are gonna let you thinking, well, can I actually draw? That leave you in that whole I can't remember what it's called, but the whole theory of am I actually an artist? Can I actually do this? Yeah, anyone can, and that's the thing you got to remember, is anyone can, pick up a pencil and get good at it. So yeah, it's just a matter of keeping on drawing. I mean, and sometimes you got to have something to push you. Yeah, to grow that confidence as well. With when I was younger, the things that kind of pushed me is kind of seeing other artists, or maybe um, some other people around me that were doing the kind of things that I did. That yeah, maybe they were doing it better than me. That kind of grew me to want to get better at me drawing and stuff like that. Um, at a younger stage, usually it's easier to be like the drawing kid, or things like that. At a younger age, um, or the kid that draws really well, or the kid that draws really good humans or something like that. It's easier to get those kind of titles as a kid, but it's harder when you're a bit older and there's a lot of people around you that can draw way better than you. But it's awesome as well. It's great to have all those people around you. Some artists, obviously, a lot of the artists I feel are way better than me sometimes. But it's great. I mean, I've felt, really, really nervous talking to some of these artists. And, you might have heard that in some of my videos, that I did feel like I was talking a bit nervously. And, some I don't feel so nervous around. Mainly some that I have talked to, they're nervous, are the people that I've kind of followed a little bit, and fanboyed over them and things like that. So but it's always great, and that builds my confidence as well, me actually talking to these artists that I've fanboyed for a little bit over. I felt were that great, that I'm like, oh hey, these are great people. But yeah, it's just awesome to meet those people as well. They, chatting with them. But yeah, there are also times where I haven't been so confident as well. Per se, when I was at a conference talking, with all the artists talking in front of me at a conference, and they were on break, and they had Ian McCraig just chilling there. And if I had the confidence, I would have actually gone up and chatted with him, because he's an awesome guy, Ian McCraig. And I really enjoyed his speech at that conference that I went to. I can't remember the name of me, but it's here in New Zealand, so it can't be that hard to find. But I think with that conference, it was like none of it's online. It's all at the show, and that's it. Which is great, because that means all the people that did pay for it are getting their money's worth. That's not like, yeah. But then, if they missed anything as well, there's that. But they get their money's worth. It's not like they paid for it, but hey, they could have seen it free. But it's so much better to see it live as well. Things like that. But anyway, if those are the things that I feel I could have been more confident at the time. But yeah. So yeah, it's great to have that kind of confidence sometimes, but you can't always have it as well. Even with this painting, it's like, well, can I actually get this lamp looking like a lamp, or can I get this genie looking like a genie? Or like, I was struggling with the background, and I was like, can I actually get this background looking like what I wanted to look like? Because if you saw at part 1 how the background was looking for, it's kind of changed in the way it's looked. And that's just me kind of looking back and looking at the reference closer and being like, I can do it. It's that kind of mentality and confidence that does make me feel like I can draw it, and that's what's really really important to me. Um, and yeah, that's the way to kind of get things done as well. It's just kind of looking at reference and saying, hey, I can draw this. Yeah, and there's always going to be challenges, always going to be um, things that you see and you try to draw them over and over and you try to draw them over and over again, and you feel like you'll never get to be able to draw it. But it's just a matter of being, hey, I'm not at that level, sometimes, or just come back to it though. I always been like, there's always poses and things that I struggle with me drawing. I do a gesture drawing sometimes, and some of the gesture drawings I don't feel like I can draw them, and I just kind of keep drawing them, and yeah, sometimes it feels like I can't draw them, but yeah, if I just come back later to the pose, sometimes I do just, it just works. Sometimes I just, boom, I can draw it now, I come back, have a coffee or something, and then I draw the pose again, and boom, I get it right the first time out. So yeah, sometimes it's just tackling it from a different angle. Sometimes it's just kind of taking a step back, relaxing. Yeah, and I mean, I've heard so many artists that I look up to that talk about their struggles, and see them like trip up and join stuff or something like that, and it's like you can't be perfect, and that's the thing. You just gotta keep drawing until you're satisfied, basically, and that's what I do with my paintings. That's what I did with this painting. It's like, well, I want to get it to a stage where I'm satisfied. I don't want to get it. For me, I could work on it for years on end, basically, until it's completely finished. But at the moment, I don't have that time. I could work on it for another month or two, basically. But yeah, I do not have that time at the moment. So I've got to be like, well, this is all the time I have. I have like 3 weeks to finish this piece, which is a reasonable time. Give it's about 60 hours all up, and obviously that's with other stuff. And usually I get in painting hours, roughly. I mean, with this one, I think it was 2, 4 plus 5, or was it 6 hours? So 2, 4. So about 10 hours of actually painting this. See, I think that's a reasonable time for painting a painting. Is about 10 hours ish. So that's pretty. I'm pretty happy with the 10 hours work. It isn't really like just spending 30 minutes or just spending 45 minutes on it and it looks good. It's a rough, nice amount of time. So I feel like I just want to get to a point where I'm happy with it. I'm confident that I'm happy with it, basically. So yeah, that's basically, I keep working on it until I kind of achieve that. And there's always going to be something. Someone might point it out as well. That something's off. I've had that with, like, I think it was Harley Quinn. Someone pointed some of the tones and textures are wrong, things like that. Looking at it now, there probably are, because that was probably 2 years ago since I started that. Yeah, about 2 years ago since I did that Harley Quinn. So looking at it now, I'm like, yeah, you know, I could probably paint over it and fix it up way better. But yeah, well, you know, this has been me painting this. This is my genie pug, as you can see. Hopefully you did, you know, enjoy the whole process of me actually painting. Whether you've just watched this video or you've watched the whole like little 3 series of me painting this piece, I really appreciate it if you have, you know, watched all 3 of me actually painting this whole thing. You know, really appreciate that. That's awesome. But yeah, I hopefully you know, find some confidence in your drawing and keep drawing, and learning. You know, it's always good to keep learning and keep creating. I heard something today where it was just like, if you're just working all the time, if you're just working all the time, you won't learn anything. That's what I heard. But if you know, do a bit of work and then a bit of learning, you know, that will really grow you. So yeah, thanks for joining me. If you did, keep drawing with confidence and keep creating, keep growing your art life and the art passion. Keep watching these videos. Yeah, thanks for joining me. Go check out any of my other videos. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too much, and you know, you got something out of this video. Yeah, just keep creating. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.